Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Unfuck Yourself podcast. We are here. We have some of Team Allie in live listening. Per usual, I like to do my podcast talking to someone. We do better that way, you know? I'm really excited because we are entering a little bit of an era, but even if you are not in this era right now, or you were already in this era, or you won't be in this era for a long time, or you never want to enter this era, all the information that we're going to be talking about in these podcasts is relevant to any area of life, okay? So we are, in light of me being pregnant, I'm 30 weeks today, the day that I am recording this. So I was just telling my team, my brain is just not going as fast as it usually does. So if I lose my train of thought on here, that's why. I was telling them yesterday, I was like, I had no idea what was going on the whole day. So anyway, we are in a bit of a pregnancy era. Now, don't let that make you turn off this podcast if you have no interest in being pregnant right now, because one, you can prepare for whenever you do get pregnant. Two, if you've already been pregnant and you're over that era, or you never want to get pregnant, what we're going to talk about today is what it takes to control every aspect of your life. So you can apply this to your career, you can apply this to your finances, you can apply this to your relationships, you can apply this to your body, to how your body looks, to your health. You can apply this socially, you can apply this mentally, literally any area of your life that you want to be able to have a better grip on and control over and control the outcomes in, you can apply this to. So don't make the pregnancy thing make you want to turn this podcast off. I'm going to be using pregnancy examples to give examples, but this really isn't like a pregnancy focused podcast. This is a what it takes to control every aspect of your life focused podcast with me using pregnancy examples. This is also going to be one of the complimentary prereqs to our new courses coming out, to pre-pregnancy glow, pregnancy glow, and to postpartum glow. So those are kind of 3 programs that are getting birthed from my pregnant era. I have done so much in intuitive prep and emotional prep and creator field prep for a good pregnancy, for hopefully a thriving birth. Stay tuned on that. But we've been working on it. And then I've been already getting ingredients and things on how to be like the hottest version of myself in postpartum era. So not just going back to how I, looked or how I felt, but even better and feeling even more like myself. I've been getting ingredients and stuff for that too. Again, that program won't be made until after I go through my postpartum era, because, got to make sure they work first. And I always do it on myself first. But we are entering the era because what's going to happen is pre-pregnancy glow is going to come out. We'll see how soon. We'll see when everyone's kind of ready. I want to get these prereqs in first because it's important we understand these prereqs. And then we will see when we get pre-pregnancy glow out. That course is about how to get pregnant and stay pregnant and the ingredients you need for that. Okay. So even if you have no interest in getting pregnant right now, again, this isn't really like a podcast about getting pregnant. This is a podcast on what it takes to control every aspect of your life and how to kind of make life your bitch instead of letting life make you its bitch and feeling like you're getting thrown around back and forth, left and right. Because what a lot of the spiritual world will teach you is that you can't control anything. The spiritual world literally teaches you that you can't control anything. And the second you let go is when you get what you want. And that is the biggest bullshit, lie, dumbest thing I've ever heard, because how our creator field works is it is quite literally controlling everything in our life. And if you don't know what the creator field is, I'm going to break it down for you. And even if you've heard me talk about the creator field 1,000 times, trust me, you're going to maybe want to humble yourself a little bit and still listen, because even there's a difference between logically knowing that we can control every aspect of our life and embodying and acting like we can control every aspect of our life. And unless you are 100% of the time operating at 1,000 frequency with every single thing and thought you do, then I would recommend still listening to this, because I've been, for example, and balls deep in this work for 10 years, and multiple times a day, I still find my thoughts getting in some kind of victim mode in some way, shape, or form for, not that long, but like it happens. So had a crash out in my car yesterday driving home in traffic for an hour and 40 minutes in what's supposed to be a 50-minute drive. Like and I can control how I feel in that situation and how that situation gets to be for me. And I wanted to have a crash out instead. So that's fine. Nothing's good or bad. But I'm just saying, unless you are 1,000% of the fucking time in a mode where you are embodying the fact that I can control every aspect of my life, still recommend listening to this. Okay. So we have an energy field, and it radiates off of our body. Everything in this universe is made up of energy. People in science can literally read the energy that comes off of things. We have energy that comes off of us as well. And it's kind of like this big bubble around us, and it broadcasts out to the world. Okay? So what I like to call this energy field is our creator field. And I call it our creator field because it quite literally creates every single thing in our life. The people around us, how they treat us, how they be toward us, how they act towards us. Our creator field creates the situations that we find ourselves in, the circumstances we find ourselves in, the events we find ourselves in, and how life gets to go for us. Whether we're making the money we want to make or not, our creator field's creating that. Whether we have the career we want to have or not, our creator field's creating that. There's not enough clients signing up for your thing, your creator field's creating that. You have a lot of clients signing up for your thing, your creator field's creating that. You don't have the body you want, your creator field's creating that. You don't have the health you want, your creator field's creating that. You don't have the relationships you want, your creator field's creating that. Whether you are aware of it or not. Now, how does our creator field create these things? Great question. I'm glad you asked. It is from a big concoction, okay? And what that concoction is our creator field is made up of the thoughts we think all the time. Again, whether we realize or we're intentionally trying to manifest something or not, we are constantly 100% of the time always manifesting. Now, I like to say creating over manifesting. It's probably just my stubbornness that I have. Just everyone throws around the word manifesting, and I just am tired of hearing it. It's creation. And so, because we're creating all of these things. So manifesting, creating, creation, kind of interchangeable. I prefer to use creating and creation. So our thoughts every single day, every single second are kind of like that compound effect, creating everything going on in our life. Okay, we have our thoughts. That makes up a part of our creator field. We have our emotions, how we're feeling, what we believe to be true. That makes up a part of our creator field. We have our belief systems. That makes up a part of our creator field. We have actions. Actions are tied to the electromagnetic field part of our creator field. The actions we are taking with ourselves are the actions other people are going to take with us. For example, if you say you're going to go to the gym and then you don't go to the gym, you now are not committing to yourself. You are not taking the action of committing to yourself. Other people will start to not commit to you. In relationship, in career, the job you want, the person who commits to themselves more is going to get that job. They're going to get the raise over you, someone who makes a commitment to themselves and then breaks it. People are going to commit to paying other people over you if you are breaking commitments to yourself. So whatever actions you are doing to yourself are the actions other people are going to do toward you. If you're ignoring yourself, you're going to find other people ignoring you. So essentially, our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, and our actions on a daily basis, they write a script in your creator field. Think of it like you're writing a TV show. They write a script in your creator field. They write what kind of character you are, and it writes how your day, your week, your month, your year, and your life is going to go for you. Okay? And then what happens is that script gets broadcasted out and handed out to everybody around you. You're literally handing out this script to the actors of the world, of your own universe. Think of it like the Truman Show, the movie. If you've ever seen the Truman Show, the movie with Jim Carrey, how he's in there and everyone else is actors and it's all about him. You are your own personal universe, okay? In your own personal universe, it quite literally is all about you, not in a conceited way, but in a way where if you don't like that you're stuck in traffic or you're having a problem with it or whatever, you created that some way, shape, or form. Okay? So you are your own universe, and every person, place, situation, thing, circumstance, event is responding to you, to a concoction of your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and actions all day long on a daily basis. So if you do not like how life is going for you in some area of life, right? We have 8 areas of life, and we learn about those in, the programs we have. But if you don't like how one or more areas of your life is going for you, you are actually in complete control over it. You created it, which means that you can uncreate it and actually create something you actually want. Now, what it actually takes to control every aspect of your life is admitting to yourself that you created the shitstorm. If you, for a second, blame the universe, blame source, blame somebody else, blame your body, blame some force outside of you, or just be like, oh, that's just how it is. If you just blame something outside of you, you then drop the percentage of your potential to go create the things you want in a quick amount of time. When and only when you take radical responsibility for every single thing that's gone on in your life, or every single symptom, or every single body thing, or every single financial thing, and every single career thing, and every single relationship pattern, when you actually look at yourself and go, wait, I'm the common denominator, and it's not about blaming or shaming yourself or making yourself feel bad about it, but it's going, wait, if this creator field thing is real, then that means I created this. It's actually the most empowering thing you can do for yourself. Because if you created it, what does that mean? You have the complete control to uncreate it, redo, and create something you actually want. As long as you think you're a victim to your body, to symptoms that are going on, to other people, to relationship patterns, to quote toxic men or quote toxic friends, or to not getting paid what you want, if you feel like a victim to not getting the career you want over and over again, as long as you feel like you're a victim, you are not going to have control over the outcomes of your life. Okay? And so what happens too, And I'm sure if you're listening to this, you are aware of this, right? You're aware of like, I can create my own reality. Well, it's one thing to know something and it's one thing to learn something. We can have all the knowledge in the world. We can learn all the things we need to learn and know all the things we need to know about creating our own life and manifestation and being in control. But knowing's one thing and embodying it and living it on a daily basis is a whole other thing, okay? When we become emotional, our brain will run the strongest neural pathways, okay? Because when we become emotional, our body gets put into a fight or flight response, which means we don't have blood in our head anymore. It rushes to our limbs because our body thinks we're being chased by a tiger, even if we become emotional because a guy texted us and canceled the date, right? Body doesn't know the difference between that and getting chased by a fucking lion outside. So we become emotional. We get into a fight or flight response. Whether you feel like you're in a fight or flight response, the second you become emotional, you're in a fight or flight response. Even if you don't feel like panic, if you're emotional about something, you're in a fight or flight. So when we become emotional, our brain, because there's no more blood in our brain to like tap into our intuition, to logically think, our brain will start to run the strongest neural pathway. So it will run our strongest belief system that we have right now, okay? So it's not about how much you know and how much you've studied, because the second you get emotional, all of that goes out the window. But it's about how much you've actually embodied and reprogrammed your brain. So for example, if I'm pregnant, right? Obviously we know this. It's been my whole personality at this point. So I am doing work on making sure my labor goes how I would like it to go. Fast, as painless as possible, through my vagina, no tearing. You know what I'm saying? Like all the good things we would like, calm, all the good things we would like to have. Now, all of those things, so for example, I don't want a C-section, okay? And there are emotional root causes to all of these physical things that could happen during labor. If you end up having to have a C-section, it's not just like, oh, the baby got stuck or it's an accident or the baby's heart rate dropped. All of those things are a matter of something that you actually can control. They are a physical manifestation of an emotion you are having. So for example, the emotional root cause of needing a C-section is feeling like you need help from other people to birth your idea into the world. It's feeling like you can't do it on your own. It's feeling like you don't trust yourself to do it on your own. Feeling like you need someone else to help you. And it's not like feeling like, oh, I need to hire a team because I need help with all this work. It's not that. It's like, oh, I can't, this would be an example. I can't get the community or following online on my own. I need to go on someone's podcast who already has the following so that, I need their help. Make sense? It's feeling like you need the help of someone else because you don't trust yourself to birth your own idea on your own. Different from, I birthed this idea, now I need a team to help because it's like we have so much going on. It's, I can't birth this idea without the help of somebody. So, who's like, I don't know, because you're perceiving that person's like better than you, essentially. So that is the emotional root cause to needing a C-section. So if you end up needing a C-section, it is not because you just, oops, coincidence, need a C-section, baby got breached, or baby got stuck in my hips, or heart rate's dropping, or whatever. You held on to an emotion that created the physical scenario, the physical event of you needing a C-section. Okay? So when I've gone through this whole, everything that I could think of that could go wrong during labor, I've gone through this whole process for myself, and I've intuitively tested my energy match to that happening for me. If you're new here and you're like, what the fuck does an energy match mean, intuitively test mean? I use my intuition on a scientific level, and I measure things in my own energy. Okay. So I measure, okay, what percentage, 0 to 100% being the most, am I an energy match? Am I an emotional match? Am I having an emotion that would make me an energy match to create the physical reality of having to have a C-section? Well, when I tested it for myself, I got originally that I was a 41% match. Now, a 41 out of 100 being the highest is probably not going to get you a C-section, but I wanted to make sure that 41% came way down to like under 7%, because I'm circling back to what happens in our brain. If I'm in the middle of giving birth and I start to get emotional because baby's not coming out fast enough, or they're telling me the baby's stuck in my hips and we might need a C-section, I'm now going to, and if I have 41% in me of the emotion of feeling like I need help to create the things that I need to create, well, in a high intense emotional situation, like having to hear that in the middle of giving birth, that emotion is going to be now the strongest pathway in my brain, because now I'm emotional. My blood leaves my brain, goes to my limbs, and now that 41% is probably going to jump to 75 because I'm in a high stress situation, and now I already have 41% in me of feeling like maybe in the career area of life, oh, I need help from someone else to, get the things that I want, right? Or I need like for me, what this actually was I felt like I needed more like visibility, essentially, like online, on TV, wherever. Like I just like I needed someone to give me, I feel like I needed someone else's help to give me more visibility versus me just going to create my own visibility. Make sense? So because that 41% was me feeling like I need someone else's help to create my own visibility and career, I now have this emotion of I need someone's help to birth my ideas into the world. Well, if I have 41% of that emotion, and now I'm in labor, now I'm in labor, and because I have 41% of that emotion, I'm a match for maybe baby to get stuck in hips, right? Like I could get the baby out still without a C-section, but I might be a match for the baby to kind of get like stuck on the way out. And then I might make myself a match for a nurse or someone to tell me, hey, if we don't get this going, like we're going to have to do a C-section. Well, 41% would make you a match for someone to say that to you, or to have something that might kind of lead or allude to like, hey, if we don't figure this out, like you might have to get a C-section. So I don't want to be, even with a 41% emotional match, in labor and having someone say that to me, because what's going to happen is if I'm in labor and someone says that to me, I'm going to get emotional because I'm going to start to get nervous then because I don't want a C-section. So I'm going to get emotional. I'm going to start to get nervous. Now, blood leaves my brain, goes to my limbs. I have no more like logical thinking process. And now the strongest emotional neural pathway, which is I need external help from someone else to create what I want, will take over because that's the strongest emotion in my head, right? So when that takes over, well, my 41% emotion match to that is going to go up to like 75 or 80 because now it's taking over. I'm scared. I'm emotional. That's going to start to take over. I'm now going to feel like I need help to get this baby out. I need someone else's help to create this life into the world. Okay. And that will turn from a 41% match to a 75 or higher, and anything over a 70% match, it's happening. You're making that happen then. But if I work on, which I've been doing, the emotion of feeling like I need someone else to help me birth my ideas into the world. If I shift that emotion now and I work on it and I practice it and I embody it and I start to create the belief and thoughts and actions around, no, I can not do it on my own, meaning I don't need a team, I don't need people, but I can birth my own idea on my own, and I can rely on myself that idea is going to do well. And I'm going to find the right people to help with this idea. Not someone needs to find me to believe in me, right? Very two different emotions. If I can root to that emotion, right, of I'm the one who can birth this idea and I'm the one who can go find the perfect people and they are blessed to work with me or help me or whatever. Well, now I'm down to an 11% match to a C-section because I've been working on that emotion. Not just knowing, oh, this is the emotional root cause of a C-section. That's knowing, but I'm embodying now a new belief system. My thoughts, my emotions, my beliefs, my actions are getting wired on a daily basis around this new belief system of I have the full potential to birth and create my ideas into the world without external help from someone else needing to believe in me in order to do it, or someone else needing to help me first in order to do it. So now I'm only 11% matched to a C-section because I got those emotions down. Now, and I have been spending my days working on those thoughts, working on those emotions, embodying the actions that back up that new belief system. Well, now that's a main neural pathway in my brain now, okay? So now in a high intense situation like birth, where it's easy to get emotional or scared, even if I do get emotional or scared, what's going to take over? The strongest neural pathway. And the strongest neural pathway is going to be, no, bitch, lock in, you got this. So if there is a scenario where baby gets stuck in my hips, I'm going to literally, emotionally, my neural pathway is going to, my main one, because I'll get emotional, obviously. That's scary if your baby's stuck in your hips. But my main neural pathway, the strongest neural pathway when I get emotional, is not going to be, oh, I can't do it without someone's help. It's going to be no, I've done this without people's help for so fucking long. Let me do it again. And so I'll lock in and I'll be able to give birth vaginally. Makes sense? So that is how that's one example of so many that I could share in career and relationships and finances and body and health of how we have complete control over our life. But we can only have the right, we only can earn the right to have complete control over our life when we admit to ourselves that we are the reason why anything happens. If I had a C-section, it wasn't just a coincidence or an accident or how baby was supposed to be born, right? It was, I created that scenario to be uncomfortable for me because of certain emotions that I had. Okay, so when we become emotional, our brain will run the strongest pathways. So it's not about how much we know or how much we've learned, but it's about how much you've already embodied and reprogrammed your brain to do. Okay, it's like learning a language. If you stick with it long enough, the language long enough, the middleman in your brain kind of ends up going away. You know, like you first, when you learn a language, you have to like think about how to speak something, and then you've got to like then speak it. But then the more you practice, the more you can just do it and you just embody the language. You can just easily speak it. In neuroscience, that's called a non-declarative memory. That's when something goes from being like you have to think about it and you have to think about making yourself think those thoughts or speak that way or have those emotions or take those actions, to jumping to that's just how you are. You take the middleman out. You then just become that way. When I used to have high levels of being critical on myself, like 98% levels of criticalness on myself across the fucking board, mainly in career and finances and my body image, but across the board. And I had to drill it in my brain to reprogram my neural pathway. So instead of them going default to critical, they started going default to, I'm so proud of you, Allie, for this, praising myself for like even the littlest things. I didn't just knowing I was critical of myself wasn't going to solve any problems, right? I had to embody and think and believe and shift my emotions and take actions as if I was praising myself every single day. I literally would, every time I went to the bathroom and I was washing my hands, I would force myself to praise myself in the mirror for like 2 minutes. And I created a habit of it. But I had to force it for a while. I had to make myself remember to do it, because the old neural pathway was to criticize. And anytime I got emotional, it was going to go right to criticize, because our brain goes right to the most prominent neural pathway. Well, I had to shrink and I had to suffocate that neural pathway, and I had to rebuild a new one of praising myself. So instead, then when I got emotional or I got down on myself, I immediately started going to praising myself instead. And now, years later, we're 10 years in, now it's a non-declarative memory, meaning that's just how I am. But for the first 4 to 5 years, I had to fucking lock in and force myself to praise myself. I had to remember to praise myself. Now it's just the middleman is gone of like me reminding myself, and now it's just what I do. It's a non-declarative memory within me. It's who I am. It's who I embody. So now in high stress emotional situations, instead of me going, oh my God, like I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have been this way, like, whoa, what was me? Bad girl in the corner. Time out, right? I'm going, well, no, you did the best you could with what you knew here because of this, this, and this. Allie, I'm actually really proud of you for how you handled that situation. How were you supposed to know how to communicate any differently when like you've never been presented with this kind of situation before? Like you did incredible for what you know. I'm praising myself, right? So it's the same thing. Learning a language, okay, it's the same thing with this stuff. So yes, a lot of people know the concept of, I have to see that I have responsibility over every area of my life, right? But are you actually doing that? Are you actually doing that daily? Are you actually fully in control of your thoughts, of your emotions, of your beliefs and actions? And when combined all together, those things, it makes up a big concoction, and that is how your physical reality is created. So when it comes to anything in life, career, finances, body, health, relationship, and in this case where I'm going to use pregnancy as an example because it's super relevant to my life right now, pregnancy, I am taking radical responsibility for everything. One of the other prereq podcast episodes you heard to the pre-pregnancy glow course and pregnancy glow course, or if you just wanted to hear a story time, was how I ended up in the hospital at 28 weeks pregnant. If you haven't listened to that, go listen to it. It's the one right before this one, the episode right before this one. And I could have just been like, oh, what a weird thing. Like, I just got contractions for 40 hours. No, I created that, right? And to create something, we need both emotional and physical. And the emotional imbalance is going to make you take physical actions to create the thing that happened. So in that case, when I was getting contractions for 40 hours, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to that podcast. But in that case, when I was getting contractions for 40 hours that were not Braxton Hicks contractions, and that I was like cramping like period cramps, like going into labors, how any mom who's ever given birth describes going into labor, there were physical things missing, like I didn't have enough magnesium and I was super dehydrated, and I ate something that was super spicy before and that gave me like gas that can get stuck and also cause, contractions. So lack of magnesium, dehydration, trapped gas, perfect physical concoction to cause uterine irritation that causes the contractions. But I had to be an emotional match to not drink the water, to forget the magnesium, right? And so we talked, I won't go into what the emotional match was because I told you about it in that episode, but there were 3 different emotional things that made me an emotional match to get the contractions, to get the irritated uterus. And so I left my magnesium at home. I like intuitively got I should take it, and I wasn't taking it. And then I drink a lot less water than I normally do for some weird reason. And then I ate the spicy food when I knew I shouldn't have for some weird reason. And because my emotions were a match to take the physical actions, so emotion, physical, made the contractions happen. So if you want, in this case, to be able to conceive, to be able to then go full term with a healthy baby, to then be able to have a good pregnancy with, the symptoms coming up, you can kind of keep at bay if you look at the emotional root cause of, and then to be able to have kind of the birth that you desire. It's not an accident how those things happen. It's not a coincidence. Some women are throwing up like viciously their whole entire pregnancy. Others never get nauseous once. And everyone's like, pregnancy is so different for everyone. Yes, because everyone's going to be a different emotional match to different things, right? Now, the hormones and the mood swings you get, like your hormones are going to just fucking change, be up and down. And you just have to learn with that, like how to navigate, like, okay, if I'm going to get pissed at this right now, let me not do it. You have to learn how to navigate that. But everything, you can't stop your hormones from shifting because they need to shift. But things like acne or nausea or getting nauseous or contractions or all the other getting inflamed, gaining unnecessary, we need to gain weight obviously, but unnecessary weight, unnecessary fat during pregnancy, having birth go the way you want it to, not having to get a C-section, not having your vagina tear, not getting stretch marks, not having your boobs then go down to your belly button. So to not be a match for all of these things, we need to understand okay, what emotion is attached to creating these, and then we can shift the emotion and not be a match. There were so many things I looked into intuitively right when I got pregnant of okay, I know you can get nauseous. I know you can, have weird food aversions. I know that you can be extremely exhausted. And I looked in and made sure I was a low match to those things so I didn't get it. I didn't really get nauseous. I definitely had a weird kind of eating thing of when I would eat, it would feel like it got stuck in my throat, which was a reflection. And I would shift that emotion, and when I would shift the emotion, it would get better. And when I would not hold on to, when I let the emotion then take over again, I would then feel it again. And it would kind of go up and down. And so now I didn't really know you could get just random contractions at 28 weeks, or else you bet I would have looked into that before it had to happen to me. But of course, things come up too that I didn't even know were a thing that happened when you got pregnant. So you can kind of, with intuition or even without intuition, you can look in and okay, what is everything I would need to believe for this to happen, right? So for example, if you want to go get a book deal, you would have to think about, okay, I want to get a book deal. Like, let me control the outcome of this versus just winging it and seeing if someone's going to give me a book deal or not. Oh, it's out of my control. That's the biggest spiritual thing. I don't know why. Well, I know why. The spiritual world has gotten infiltrated by dark forces and people who don't have your best intentions. So they will tell you that things are out of your control and that you just have to let it go and just learn how to deal with things being out of your control. I'm the least spiritual person to ever exist, in the sense of every single thing is in your control, and you can control every single thing. You can control if someone talks to you, how somebody acts towards you, what your body's doing. You can control why you have the disease, how you get rid of the disease. You can control the amount of money you're making. You can control if you get the job or not. You can control if someone gives you the book deal or not. So let's say you want a book deal. Before you even go in to pitch your book or to pitch your idea or your pitch deck for your book or whatever it is, you would have to think about what is everything that I would have to believe and think and do for me to get a book deal. Well, one of them is I'd have to believe this is the best fucking information that a book could have. Another one is I'd have to believe that people need this book right now. And there's about 8 other things, probably ingredient-wise, emotional ingredient-wise, you would have to believe to create someone giving you the book deal, picking up your book. You'd also have to have certain thoughts. You would want your thoughts to be the thoughts you would want the person in charge of giving you the book deal to have. It would kind of sound like third person. So, oh my God, I need to pick up Allie's book right now or else I'm going to regret it forever. You're going to have thoughts in third person of what you want the book deal person thoughts to have. And then you would have to have actions of committing to yourself, right? You want them to commit to you and commit to your book. You would have to have actions of committing to yourself, amongst many other things that, we dive into in the programs we have here. So the same thing with labor. We talked about C-section. If I want a fast labor, there are emotions that I have to feel that would create a fast labor. And we break down all of that in Pregnancy Glow. Pregnancy Glow is where we go through the list and the emotional root cause to every single thing you can think of, every single thing I've thought of, every single thing you might think of as we go. We break it down. Okay. But again, the only way that we can control those outcomes is by understanding that we control fucking everything based on our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, and our daily actions. If you're playing victim with money, this is why, okay, this might be... Okay. little triggering probably. Trigger warning. So anyone who, for example, I'm going to the financial area of life now. Anyone who wants socialism, okay? One, they do not actually understand how socialism works. Most people have ran away from socialism countries, communist countries. And you talk to anyone, I have a lot of friends whose parents, my dad was an immigrant, but I have a lot of friends and they ran away from, not a socialist country, but they didn't have the money-making opportunities in Italy at the time that they had in America at that time. Anyway, not really so much my family, but I have a lot of friends who either them or their parents have come here from like a communist country that started out as socialism. And they came here because they don't have that here and for a better financial opportunity of life, right? Anyway, anybody who wants socialism, all it is they just don't believe that they can make the money they want in life, okay? And so what happens is they get mad at other people, like eat the rich, or they get mad at people who are rich or who have made the money. Whether it's new money or old money, someone's made the money, Okay. So whether it's someone's grandchild who has old money, well, their great grandpa worked real fucking hard for that money. And and then their dad worked real hard to keep that company going, right? Or whatever it is. Or if it's new money, that person worked their fucking ass off to create the company and the brand to make the money. And they took something into their own hands, into their own responsibility, and they created the financial reality they wanted. If someone is wanting socialism, the emotional root cause is simply that you just don't believe that you can create the financial reality you want. So you want someone else to do it for you, and then you're mad at other people for having it or doing it. Okay? And it's just how it is. I've been mad at other people for getting a bunch of views on their Instagram reels when I don't think the information's that good, right? And so it's all an emotional reflection. They deserve the views, and that information is probably really helpful to the people who see it, right? I'm just mad that I feel like I have to work harder to get something, right? You might be mad that you feel like you have to work harder to get money, when is that really like the actual case, right? So, but we want to take responsibility over that emotion so we can start to create the thing that we desire. So financially, whether you're like, you want socialism, or you just have a financial thing of like, oh, I feel like I can't make the money I want, it is up to you to change your thoughts, your emotions, your belief systems, and your actions. And then around finances and around financial reality, and then you can go make and create the money you want and the life you want with that money. Nobody was born on a pedestal, and nobody was born as God's favorite. And in fact, a lot of poor God and source, they get blamed a lot for nothing. Like everyone's blaming the universe, everyone's blaming source, blaming God. And what's so funny is source, the universe, actually has their hands out of your life, because source created the energetic law of free will. And source wants you to you are an extension of source, okay? Our souls are an extension of source. We are many sources running around. Okay, and the whole goal is to learn and get higher frequency information, and then get closer and closer to source, and then take it back to source. Even though source knows everything and has created everything, source is humble, and source is like, let's find out more. So source broke off and has become all of you, and you are all an extension of source. And you are out here learning and growing, and just whether you realize it or not, everyone's goal at some point is to get closer to source. It's to get closer, you'll see it in souls who are just here to live a normal human experience. They just want to be a good person. They just want to know how to be okay and be a good person. Then souls who are here to heal themselves and be a healer of others in some way, shape, or form. They just want to heal as many people and help as many people as possible. Everyone has this goal of getting closer to source. Now, source said, you are an extension of me, so you can learn yourself how to create like me. Like, I'm not going to come down and, save you. I don't have any favorites here. You create this, not me. I created Earth. I helped create your soul. You can now go down and learn what creation's like. And you can learn to create like me. So source made a law of source does not infiltrate with your free will of what you believe to be true. Whatever you believe to be true is what's going to be true for you in your life. It's what's going to create your life. It's what's going to create every situation in your life. I find that there's manifestation teachers out there who are like, yeah, whatever you believe to be true is what's going to manifest for you in career or in money. But then they forget that they're also creating their relationships. They forget they're also creating your health problems. They forget you're also creating the traffic you're in. You're also creating the spider crawling up the wall in your house that you're scared of, right? Like everything. It's not just some things, it's everything. And in order to create the perfect pregnancy scenario, the perfect pre-pregnancy scenario, the perfect postpartum scenario, the perfect birth scenario, the perfect financial, career, social, relationship, whatever scenario, you have to 100% own and understand, I create everything. It is my responsibility. Now, what Source can do is think about it like this. You create the thing. So you have to design the car, you've got to build the car, you've got to put the gas in the car, you've got to make sure all the parts of the car are connecting so they work so the engine turns on. You've got to put the key in the engine, you've got to build the whole car first and then make sure all those missing pieces work. You've got to put the key in the engine, you've got to turn the engine on, you've got to put your hands on the steering wheel, you've got to put your foot on the gas, you've got to drive the car. Now, once you're doing that, Source can come in and amplify whatever you're doing about 17%. So, could work for you, could work against you. Source will amplify your beliefs, your thoughts, your actions by 17% and helping you create the reality that you are creating. So, if your beliefs and thoughts and actions like are kind of shit and they're not doing what you want them to do, that's getting amplified 17%. But if you're taking control over your beliefs, thoughts, actions, creator field, and they're doing what you want it to do, Source can amplify that 17%. But Source does not have favorites. Nobody's biased. It's because people ask a lot, why do bad things happen to good people? It's because of their creator field. It has nothing to do with how good of a person you are or are not. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people with dark intent of the world who make a fuck ton of money. It has nothing to do with that. In fact, we probably need more people with good intentions to make more money so they can, out money those people, but has nothing to do with whether you're a good or bad person or not, or have good intent or absent of light intent. It has to do with your thoughts, emotions, belief systems, and actions. So this is why this is a prereq to the pregnancy series of programs. And honestly, I'm gonna make this a prereq to fucking every course because we have to understand this concept before going in and going to create these things that we are wanting to create. So it is not about let go and let God. Source can only amplify your own thoughts and emotions 17%. That spiritual information was created from someone with dark intent who doesn't want you to get what you want. So they want you to think you have to give up control versus take more control. Okay? If anyone tells you to give up control, run the other way. What you actually want to do is gain control over your thoughts, gain control over your emotions, gain control over your actions, set up a creator field that's really, really good. Then you can let go of wanting in your brain because your creator field is taking care of it. But it is not about just letting go of control. If you have that information in your head, put your hand in your brain, pull it out, throw it on the ground, and squash it and light it on fire. It is the worst information keeping you from having a really cool life that you can actually have the source way of creation over. So if you want to create the, ideal pregnancy or if you want to create getting pregnant, because not being able to get pregnant, also an emotional root cause problem. Okay. If you have had miscarriages, again, this is not diminishing the pain that can feel like, because that is incredibly painful to emotionally experience. And at the same time, knowing you don't have to be scared to then do it again, because if you understand what emotion caused the miscarriage, you can shift the emotion. You can guarantee you never have one again. You can take power back into your own hands. If you want pregnancy to just be a vibe and not have many problems and have an easy pregnancy, again, you can take that into your own hands. If you want to have an easy labor, you can take that into your own hands. If you want to be hotter, better, and more like yourself than you ever were before postpartum, you can take that into your hands. You don't have to just wait and see what happens. A lot of people, raw dog life, let's just see what happens. Oh, not in my control. Or they'll tell you, life's not in your control, but you're in control of how you feel about it. No. You can control what happens in your life. You can catch something happening before it has to happen and shift it. Like all the time, like if I hear people around me talk about getting sick, they're like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, my cousin's sick, or I just got sick, or I'm sick. I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm hearing about people getting sick. Law of previews, what I'm seeing is coming for me next, right? We'll talk about the law of previews in a different episode. But like basically universal law of previews is what I'm seeing around me is coming for me next. If I just want to avoid getting sick, I look at if I'm an emotional match to get a sore, whatever they have, let's say they have a sore throat. I'm like, what percent match am I emotionally to get a sore throat? Oh, 89%. I'm holding back angry words. That would make your throat sore. I'm holding back angry words. I'm not expressing my anger, to myself in a healthy way. I'm not getting it out. That's making me a match to a sore throat. Let me shift that emotion so I don't even have to get a sore throat. I don't even have to get the sore throat. I can just shift the emotion to avoid the sore throat at all. So you can do that. And that I like to hack life like that. Now, of course, things catch you off guard that like you don't think to look into, like me having contractions or, like other things that come up in our everyday life. Like if you don't know what to look into. But the things you do know, or if something does come up, you can shift out of it very quickly. If I didn't have the right tools, I could have gone into preterm labor because those kinds of contractions can cause your cervix to dilate and can cause you to go into labor. So even if things do come up, you can shift out of it quick, or you can know what's coming and not have to have it happen to you. When you can understand, like, no, it's not about just letting go. It's not about things are out of your control. It's not about learning just how to like be okay with whatever goes on. It's about learning, no, I can actually control this outcome. And when you understand that and you are like, fuck yes, like I have the power here, you are then ready to go from this prereq complimentary podcast episode to then a program, right? Obviously I'm talking about pregnancy, but this is probably going to be a prereq for any program, but then you are ready to go into that program because that's what we do in our programs is we give you the tools, we give you the emotional root causes of why things are going on. We give you emotional ingredients, meaning like how you need like to make a perfect cake, you need a certain set of ingredients to make that cake. To get the $1 million a year, you need a certain set of financial, emotional ingredients to believe and to think to create that physical reality of making $1 million a year. To have a fast labor, you need a certain set of emotional ingredients, emotional beliefs to create that physical outcome of having a fast labor. You get the point. So, re-listen to this. We talked about a lot. But the goal is, and the takeaway for this week is just this week, I want you for the next 7 days, I want you to just notice every time in your life, every day, every hour, when your brain starts to feel like you can't control a situation. And even though you logically might know, no, I do have control, are you fully embodying that every single day? Because if you're not, when you're in an emotional high state, the strongest belief, the strongest neural pathway will take over. So in finances, if you have a knowing of I can make money doing whatever I want to do, I can make money through being myself. But if your belief doesn't match that knowing, the second you feel financially stressed, your most prominent neural pathway with your most prominent belief of feeling like you can't make the money you want will take over. So this week, I just want you to notice how many times when you get stressed or emotional does a limiting kind of victim belief take over. And just notice it. Just notice it. And then from there, you want to be able to notice it to then be able to change it and have different tools to change it. And then you can find those tools in all the pre-pregnancy and pregnancy courses, and of course our other courses and programs as well. So start there, just notice it. You're going to be shocked how many times you might be doing this. And you, if you're listening to this, you're super advanced. Like, you're a super advanced person and soul. And I mean, I catch this on myself all of the time. Like, you can be so advanced, but it's not your fault. It's just how your brain is programmed. Okay. Not your fault, but if you want a better life, your responsibility to shift. And I'm super excited for you guys. And you will do this way quicker than I ever did. Way quicker than I ever did. And I truly, truly, truly want the best for you. I want you to really understand that you can literally go create what you want in your life. So I'm really excited. Let me know how this goes for you. DM us. We love to hear about it. And I will see you in the next episode.